Welcome back to Beginner Dobro. I'm Justin Gambrell, and today we are going to be starting on the first of a number of videos concerning how to chop on the Dobro. Different videos within this little series that will be under different difficulty levels, but today we're going to be starting at the very beginning and the easiest version, most simplistic way to chop. Now, as you're around me and hearing about the Dobro, you'll often find me saying that the Dobro is almost this odd amalgamation of all the different other instruments within bluegrass. There's ways in which it plays like a guitar, like a banjo, like a mandolin, like a fiddle, and its place within the bluegrass group kind of goes a little back and forth, depending on the needs and in the moment. And as we're working on different kinds of chops and different ways to chop, the starting point actually comes from what a chop is supposed to be. In that traditional 5-6 piece bluegrass band, the chop comes on the mandolin. And so despite the fact that we're working with the Dobro, our goal in chopping on the Dobro can just be to try to sound like a mandolin. Because if a mandolin is taking a break, or maybe you don't have a mandolin, you still want the feel of that chop, the energy that comes from it, and the way in which it advances the rhythm. And so, despite the fact that this is a Dobro video, the first piece that we're going to actually want to work with right now is hearing what a mandolin sounds like. Because mimicking the mandolin chop is actually the easiest way to do a chop rhythm on the Dobro. So I'm going to get out my mandolin and we're going to take a moment to just listen to how the chop sounds. Okay, so now I've got my mandolin out. And as I begin to chop on the mandolin, you'll begin to hear a little bit more on how it sounds. We notice that it's a very punchy sound. It also takes a moment to actually play the chord. I mean, I am still playing the chord. You can hear a little bit. I could just completely mute the instrument. But that sounds different than a... It punches, it hits, it has energy, while still holding the chords, and we'll move around the chords. And so the one thing that we want to focus on in this one is that kind of punch. The quick notes and then the quick muting. So now I'll get my Dobro back on and I'll start to show you a little more on how I mimic that sound of this chop on the Dobro. So let's go. So the Dobro back in hand, we can begin to actually try to follow that sound. Remember to keep that mandolin sound in your head, either from what we just listened to or think to some of your favorite bluegrass songs that have strong mandolin chopping in the background. That's what we're trying to copy. And much of this even comes to copying even sort of the motions of what a mandolin does. So if you've played mandolin in the past or you play it as well, we're kind of mimicking the same idea that they're doing. A lot of that comes from playing the note and muting the note. So as we chop, I mean, I can mute the instrument like I did before, and you're just running your thumb pick across the strings really quickly. It's supposed to be a big chuck, a rhythmic moment, almost like if you were hitting a snare drum. So you're not wanting to drag across, but you want it to be more exact. Now to hit the chord and get that percussive sound requires good use of your left hand, the one that is holding the steel. So as we're doing this chop that's muted, we're going to both have the steel down and then quickly lift it back up, having your ring finger and pinky anchored against the strings to mute them, and then that's going to create that nice percussive chop. So about the moment that you're getting past the strings with your thumb pick, you are lifting that up. Now, I will also often use the palm of my right hand to also be to mute the strings afterwards once I've made it through. So it gets a real nice. I know this sounds really simple. It'll take a little practice to fully align your two hands and how they all come together, but eventually you start just begin chopping like it's second nature. Now I know I'll often put a little bit of extra flair with backstrokes. I'm going to put that in another video, but it's just kind of going through. And so to show more on how this will actually sound in a real song, I'm going to put the bluegrass standard Mama Don't 'Low, a real simple backing track that I will chop over in the key of G. You can feel free to chop along or to just listen for now. Let's try it. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Well, we don't care, Mama don't allow, cause we're gonna play it anyhow. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Well, Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. Well, we don't care, Mama don't allow, cause I'm gonna play it anyhow. Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. So that's just one example on how that chop is able to be used within a song. Upon listening back to those last couple clips, I have since found out that my microphone kind of doesn't make the chop sound quite as nice as it does in person. It makes it sound a little more metallic. And I mean, that's natural from all the metal that's in here. But it's kind of that general idea. You can mess around with it, practice it, and start to get the feel in your hands to get it to a sound that sounds right to your ear. As you listen to different Dobro players, everyone's going to have a different sound upon their chop, but I believe most of them do it this way. And when done correctly, it does take the full place of a mandolin. If you've ever listened to the band The Infamous String Dusters, you'll notice that they actually do not have a mandolin in their group. But if you listen to their music, you just about never actually miss it. That's because Andy Hall, their Dobro player, chops a lot, often with this style. And by doing it, it still gives that energy, that feel, that percussiveness that the songs need. And so by taking the time to learn how to chop like this, it's a nice way of rounding out the bluegrass group. Because it's not always just about playing what you're supposed to at all times, but it's about choosing what is the right thing to do in this moment. And this chop just adds to that arsenal of different things that you can do when backing up other people around you. And as we begin to choose what is right in different moments, there will be other videos, other moments where I will spend more time to figure out and explain when are different and good times to do different things. But this mandolin style of chopping is really good for any time there isn't a mandolin chopping. And especially on any songs that want to have a little bit more forward energy to it. And so by taking this, you'll be able to improve your backups and do something different than just simply holding out the chords. So go ahead, keep practicing this, and if you think you're ready for a little bit more, go on and find some more of my videos on how to chop. Happy picking.